Have you heard about the Mark Driscoll, James River Church controversy? Now, nobody seems to really care what happened. You might have already seen stuff online about this. I'll tell you what actually happened really quickly. They had this, for the opening of this big men's conference, they always do something real wild and crazy. Whether you believe in that or think that's okay or not, that's not the issue right now. Last year, I think they had Chuck Norris drive a tank in there. This year, they had this guy doing acrobatics. He had this giant pole. I don't know how, it was like 20 feet or 30 feet. I don't know. He climbs to the top of it doing all these strength tricks and has a sword. At some point, he swallows the sword. He's swinging around and all this stuff. And that was the opening deal that they have every year. Okay. So now what happens is a certain amount of a time elapses. I think it was at least one night. I'm not 100% on that. But then Mark Driscoll is coming out to speak. At some point, he talks to the pastor for like 30 minutes. They have a nice conversation, apparently. There's no mention of this acrobat or this circus-looking act or anything like that. Then Mark Driscoll comes out at this guy's church, at this conference, and then starts saying that, you know, the spirit of Jezebel is there, and he starts trying to equate the acrobatic act to some sort of pagan ritual, an Asherah pole, and all of this stuff, how you know, he ascends the thing, and he tries to tie it to a pagan ritual, but he makes the comment, he said they do the same thing in strip clubs. Okay. Then at this point, the pastor says, Mark, you're out of line here, and he says, please leave the stage or finish, something to that effect. Mark leaves. And then the pastor comes out and says, hey, you may agree with Mark, that's not why I'm kicking him out. I'm kicking him out because he could have come to me with this. Like we had a conversation for 30 minutes and he never brought any of this up. And then he comes out and blasts everybody. Now, how does the rest of the internet take that? Now, what the internet does and what all these Christians do is then go about and say, hey, they had well, let me back up. It did come out, supposedly, I haven't seen that confirmed, but supposedly the acrobat sometime in the past was a stripper. So now they have this narrative that they had a male stripping event at this men's conference, and Mark Driscoll was like the only one brave enough to speak against it, and they kicked him out. Again, totally that's not what happened. Anyway, it's crazy how people will run with things and make things up and just get a little bit of information and just drag people through the mud. I mean, does no one really stop and think, this huge mega church for a men's conference, and it's all been about strength and weightlifting and Chuck Norris in a tank, and now they're going to have a male strip show? I mean, just pause there and say, does that make sense? But, you know, people don't care. And they're like, oh, these are the times we're living in, and it's spiritual warfare, brother. Okay. So they just run with it. What I want to know, I saw it. The guy, I mean, hey, I probably wouldn't have done it at my church, okay? But the guy looked like the regular modern acrobatic stuff to me. I mean, I didn't see anything strippy about it, but whatever. What I want to know is, how are all these people experts on male strip shows? I think that's the bigger question that needs to be asked about this. But it's just disappointing to see how people just take a kernel of something and just run with, make it something that it's totally not. And the truth and discernment just out the window, and people are saying, oh, I prophesied this, and it's absolutely ridiculous. We need to do better. We need to be in truth. That guy was not trying to have, I don't know much about this mega church at all. If you know me, I'm not really for mega church, but let's be honest, the guy wasn't trying to have a male strip show in there, you know? But I don't know. That's the sensationalism. That's the just, who cares about the truth? Let's just put something on Facebook, put something on YouTube, put something on TikTok that sounds good. It sounds like we're living in the end times. But anyway, God bless you. Comment. Let me know what you think. I probably don't want to know some of it, but hey, I tried to talk to people, say, hey, this is what really happened. I mean, you know, I have to agree. If it had been my church or something, I would have appreciated him saying, hey, I got a problem with this, instead of acting like we're buddies and then walking out and blasting him. Anyway, God bless you.